This last winter, I was doing one of the boat shows at a Bass Pro Shops out in Denver, and I was talking to some guys who fish Lake McConaughey down in Nebraska, and they were telling me about this technique that they use for fishing flooded timbers for walleyes. So I thought to myself, you know, that should work up in Lake Oahe. It's at all-time highs. So I took the technique and fished in a big tournament last week, and it worked out really well. Chase Parsons took first, I took second in the big FLW event up out of Pierre, South Dakota. So my buddy Jim heard about it here, and he decided to come down and see this technique. So what we're going to show you today is how to fish timber for walleyes with spinnerbaits. That's right, spinnerbaits. And we're going to show you how to get the next bite.
I'm just looking for the next bite. I'm just looking for the next bite. I'm just looking for the next bite. I'm just looking for some fish with teeth. Fish with teeth.
Keith Kavajecz, Gary Parsons, and Pete Mena live to fish. But certain fish really throw these guys over the edge. Walleye, muskie, northern pike, fish with teeth. Countless days spent on the water have turned these guys into fishing machines with an eagerness to teach people how to catch more fish. So if you're ready to become a better fisherman, join Keith, Pete, and Gary on their quest for the next bite.
I'm just looking for the next bite.
Lake Oahe in South Dakota is one of Keith Kavajecz's favorite places to fish for walleyes.
We're here. Nice.
And though this may be familiar water, it's unique in that as a reservoir, its levels are continuously changing.
The weapons of mass destruction.
Which is exactly why Keith is so excited to be out here with fellow tournament angler Jim Carroll.
You're kidding, right?
To demonstrate a totally new take on fishing the thick and complex tree structure now laying submerged deep along its expanded shorelines.
Right here is what we're looking for, right there in the tops. You can see it on the down scan too. What I found is on these real deep trees, these trees that are down about 33, 32 feet, you don't catch as many fish out here, but it seems like some bigger fish will slide into these deep trees and hold on it.
One quick but important tip about this presentation
Oh man, you're quick.
is to get the walleye up and out of the trees as quickly as possible.
Well, they ski right up, don't they?
You don't give them a chance to fight too much. You kind of got to get on them to get them out of the trees. But like these trees here are 30 feet down, so once you get a little ways above them, you don't need to horse them too much in.
But anytime you get that mouth pinned open, they are going to come up typically.
Yeah, but this one's staying down actually, which is a really good sign. This can be a really... Oh, there he is. I see him. What does he look like?
It's a water ski.
Ready?
Yeah, I'm gonna get him.
There.
Well,
He's pretty good
yeah,
one there, actually.
I guess he got better.
That's a pretty good one. Look at that mouth. Get him.
There we go. Spinnerbait fish.
That's a good fish. That's a good fish. Got him on old chartreuse. That's a nice fish. Tree fish.
Those hooks hold.
Yeah, that one big hook in there. Look at that thing. That's a good one, huh?
Pretty.
It's an Oahe over there. You can only keep 2 over 20 here, so this would definitely be one of those. Look at how fat he is all the way down to the tail. Very nice.
They're eating.
They're eating, right now they're eating spinner baits. There we go. Nice.
I've been fishing these trees on these flooded Missouri River reservoirs for a long time. The situation we've got is we've gone from record low water levels to now record high water levels. And that water stayed down for a number of years and allowed the trees to grow up along the shoreline. So there's kind of 2 key areas that we kind of look for. Along the edge of a big flat, in other words, where a big shelf would come out into the reservoir, lots of trees grow up on those flat spots. It's very easy to make long passes through those trees. Another spot that I like to look for is where there's a sharp break into shore, especially where there's a cove. And on the back ends of those coves, many times, there'll be a bunch of trees that grew up. Now those are a little tougher to fish because we got to dive in there with the boat. Usually they're typically not very big patches. We dive in there with our boat, drag our lures through, and then we want to figure 8 around and go right back through. One thing I've learned on this trip is, traditionally we use crankbaits over the tops of these trees and we catch fish, but we lose a lot of lures. Every time that rod goes back, you're probably going to lose that lure. This spinnerbait technique behind behind lead core allows us to actually fish down through the trees, and we are catching tons and tons of fish.
Walleye.
Is he coming?
He is.
Yeah.
Walleye, isn't it?
Nice fish, yeah.
Get him, Jim.
There you
go. Swing him in here. Good fish. Yeah.
What color is that?
I think it's like a salt and pepper kind of thing.
Yeah.
Shad, I think they actually call it.
Well, I liked it.
Look at that nice fish, though. I think that's one of those perfect Oahe slots there.
Yeah,
just a little hair under 20 inches, but big and fat. You can tell they're sitting in these trees just gobbling on stuff. Good fish. All right, let's get back down to the trees.
The next bite is presented by Mercury, Amsoil, the first in synthetics, Tracker Boats, fish the finest, Bass Pro Shops, your adventure starts here, Berkeley, catch more fish. Learning areas to fish and why has always been a more obvious but yet very necessary key step in breaking down water. But with developments in fishing electronics technologies now moving faster than ever, being able to see in real time how you are fishing basic or even complex structure means losing less lures.
Oh yeah, there's that mouth up on the surface. That's what I like to see.
And increasing your chances of catching more fish.
And that's what's keeping it, of course, real snagless down there, or snagless as possible. But, that's a good fish. So after you've found a patch of trees, the first thing you need to do is determine how high those trees are running. If you look at this screen here, I'm running a downscan imaging here. You can see that the trees we're fishing right now range anywhere from topping out at about 10 feet up to about 8 feet. So what I want to do then is get my spinnerbait running through those trees. Now I don't run my spinnerbaits way down at the base of these trees. You just get snagged up too much. What I want to do is run those about 2 or 3 foot into those trees. So what I use here is lead core to get that spinnerbait down a little bit. And the amount of lead core is based on how high those trees are up. So for instance, in this example where we're fishing about, I would say 10 or 11 feet deep, what I'm fishing is 2 colors of lead core and then 15-foot leader of monofilament. If I'm fishing out deeper like we fished today, where the trees say top out at about 25 feet, then I'm letting out 6 colors of lead and that 15-foot leader of mono. Speed is real important. We're trolling at about 2.3 miles an hour, so those numbers I gave you are going to work for that speed. If you slow down, you're going to have to let out less lead because it sinks better. If you speed up, you're going to have to let out more lead because it doesn't sink quite as well. So speed and amount of line let out is what's going to put you in the zone to catch these tree walleyes. Fish, fish, Jim, fish! Get them out of the trees, man.
Come on, baby, come on up.
Looks like walleye to me.
Yeah, we got a little round mouth on him.
That's coming, man.
Here he
That's
comes.
coming.
Here he comes.
Slow down a little. I get the net here.
Here he comes. You ski him right in there.
Yeah. I'll reach out and grab him before he flips out.
There you go.
There we go. Sockfish. One of them under 20s. Yeah, there we go. Like a perfect slot almost. Right at 19, I would say.
Yeah.
A nice fish. They all bite good, though. Whoa, get that spinner bait. All right, buddy.
That's a money fish in a tournament.
The Real Deal. Real fishing information from real fishing experts. Presented by Amsoil.
For this timber fishing, we're using fairly conventional lead core equipment. First of all, we're using 18-pound test lead core, and we're splicing that with a leader. We're using just a little ant swivel here, and that leader can be a heavy monofilament, something like maybe 25-pound test big game, or I'm using 100% fluorocarbon, 15-pound test. We take and go down that leader, and then we just directly tie to the spinnerbait. As far as spinner baits, what we're using is 3/4 ounce or 1 ounce spinner baits, so fairly heavy ones. It seems like the willow blades are some of the best things to use on there. It seems to run through the water a little bit better at the high speeds. I use 2 different lengths of rods, especially because I'm trying to run 4 rods in this case. Now I suggest if you're just starting out doing this, just start out with maybe 2, go to 3, and then 4. But if you're running 4 rods, you can run 2 of the shorter rods. I use the 8.5-foot rods down the middle, and then I use longer rods on the outside to really spread out and those are 10 foot long. One last thing that I will show you is that I've got a line counter reel here. And a lot of people, when they're fishing lead core, they say, well, why do you need a line counter? You can just count colors. But many times when you're fishing lead core, you need to be real precise. It's not a full color that you want to let out. Maybe you want to let out 1.5 colors, 2 1/4 colors. So what I do is just keep track on my line counter reel of the total amount of line I've got out. And what we do for this trees is just let out enough so it starts ticking the tops of those trees, running a little bit down in there. So standard lead core, not such a standard lure, but it catches lots of walleyes. As you're trolling along out here with these spinnerbaits, there's a couple important things to remember as you're controlling the boat. First is you're moving along pretty fast. We're running anywhere from 2.2 to 2.4 miles an hour. I think one of the things that triggers these fish is giving them a little bit of speed. They see that bait, they hear that bait coming, they see it glance over them, they quick run up and they grab it. So you're looking for, I think, more of a reactionary strike than you are even for a feeding strike. So that's the first thing. Second thing is we're pulling this with both lead core and a weighted spinnerbait. So you got to remember that anytime you make a turn or you pause your boat or slow down your boat, everything's going to sink. And of course, if everything is sinking, that means it's going to drive deeper down in the trees. So make real slow, gradual turns if you have to. But what I like to do is just keep a nice, consistent pull. That's why I'm running 2 different engines. I use my kicker engine to set my speed, and then I use a remote control to run my front trolling motor. So if I got to make little turns, I just bump it a little one way or bump it a little bit the other way to get it to turn. So a little bit faster than normal trolling. Don't make those sharp turns. Nice consistent pull, and it's going to catch these walleyes out in these trees.
Lake Oahe is some seriously big water, and through a combination of boat control, electronics, and lead core, this unique spinnerbait presentation is producing equally big returns for Keith and Jim.
Oh, there you go.
I got one.
Well, almost equal.
That's looking walleye-ish, huh?
Well, he's cruising. Yeah, it's a walleye.
Yeah,
it's
it
a
sure
walleye.
is. That's a netter.
It's a good one.
Decent
You got one, Jim. You got one.
Yeah, yeah.
Other rod, Jim. Other rod, get out.
I'm lifting. I got the net.
Leave the net.
Come on, get out of there. Get up.
How's he feel?
I got a little one. You got the nice one. Of course.
That's a common saying among walleye fishermen. Tuna boat, slide them right in. And look at that, pretty nice.
Something's wrong with this picture.
Oh, nothing's wrong with me. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Look at there, Jim. Huh?
Something's wrong with
This is how
this
I like
picture.
it in tournaments too, man.
I know how you are. Nice fish.
Well, that was fun, huh?
Yeah, it
fire
was.
drill.
Exactly.
Oh, he wants to go, Jim.
Yeah, there you go.
There he goes.
Nice fish.
Well, thanks again for calling out them little ones.
It's gonna turn around.
Fortunately, Jim is right. Things do turn around for him.
Keep reeling, because he's still down by the trees.
Oh, come on, get out of there.
Could be a really big one.
This is a
Reeling, Jim.
I can't even move him, man. He's just a big, strong fish.
Just not how he was hoping they would. Exactly.
Oh, I see leopard spots. Oh, that's a big gator.
Giant pike.
That is a big gator. Got all the lead core and oh, that's a big gator. Yeah, that's a big gator.
It's in my walleye net.
Of course, he went over and got the other line and everything else. Look at the size of
that beast, though.
But no matter what is on the line, the heavy action surrounding each bite trolling these submerged trees is definitely full-on combat fishing.
I guess that's why I dropped that one. We got him, but then he got me.
Man, it's like I think I got a red-colored boat.
Yeah.
Even more so when an afternoon wind hits the surface of this big open water reservoir.
The wind's coming up nice.
I don't know if nice is the word I use.
Well, it's not unbearable yet.
Which quickly gets the waves starting to roll.
Fish, Jim. Fish. Lucky I
That's a good
was
one.
on the wrong side
Come
of the boat
on,
there,
get up,
man.
baby.
I'd had to come through you to get it. Is it a walleye?
Yeah. Looks like
Oh, it's a
yeah,
nice
here he
one,
comes.
nice.
Coming
Nice
right at
big
you,
mouth.
Keith.
That's
Coming
a good
right
one,
at
man.
you.
That's a really good one, Jim.
Come on, baby. Hang on there.
I got him.
Whoa,
Nice
nice fish.
That's a good. I tell you what, you're a lucky man. I was on the wrong side of you.
Yeah,
Fatty is.
that is a tank.
Nice. Look at the custom color there. Chartreuse skirt. Look at there. Nice fish, Jim. Like I said, though, you're dang lucky. You happen to be between me and the rod.
I'm trying to catch up.
I'm pretty quick on them. But you got to be out here. If you don't get them out of them trees, even a fish this size will just right back down in there, and then you're going to lose them. So nice fish. And finding this is weird.
It's a little weird, but it's working.
There you go. Use spinner baits for walleyes. Gotta love it. Boom, gone. Oh, a little pause, but he's gone. He's gone.
Wind picked up and the bite picked up a little bit. The trees you see behind me here are the kind of trees that we're fishing through. They're dense, they're hard to get baits through. The traditional way is to take that crankbait and run it right over the tops of the trees. It goes along, but every once in a while it's going to hit a tree, bang, tick, it's probably gone. What we found out today is with the spinner bait, you've got an upturned hook and you've got that wire in front and the blades to protect the hook. So this lure will come along, and we watched it all day. It'll go bang, bang, bang right through the trees. Occasionally you might get hung up, but a lot of times it'll pop free and pow, that fish will hit it right as it breaks free from the trees.
Leading information on tackle and techniques to make you a better fisherman. Presented by Mercury.
So I tried a new line for muskie and northern pike this past season. It's a fire line braid. I've had tremendous luck with the spider wire ultra casts and stealth, but I wanted to try something a little bit different. I was very, very happy with this line this year, and actually wanted to kind of find out why, so I called the line tech guys there at Berkeley and asked them, and Clay Norris specifically gave me a little information on it. First of all, it's made of Dyneema, which is actually the world's strongest fiber. You can't get a stronger fiber per diameter. And then he used a term called round 8 carrier in the way it's built, which essentially means that there's 8 different bundles of line weaved in tightly. And what that does is it helps this line really keep its shape. It's also got a tremendous coating on it. Both the combination of that shape and the coating help it resist digging in the spool under real heavy pressure. The other thing that's extremely important about it, and I just came off a trip, it's extremely important, when it's cold out, it doesn't carry any water. The other thing that you'll notice about it is these funky colors. This is actually called tracer braid. And essentially what you've got is this real light, bright color for a 2-foot section and a darker color. And you know, besides looking kind of cool, there's actually a serious aspect to it. And that is in that you're able to actually see the line better. It's more important probably in some finesse techniques for different species, and folks don't think of it much for muskie and northern pike. But yet we do use it in that instance, and what you're essentially looking for is you're watching that line for hits. Generally this is most prevalent in jigging situations where you're creating a little slack and you're letting that bait fall. But as most of you know that have done that type of technique, a lot of times those fish will hit on the drop, and you can literally detect the strikes by watching that line. You'll see that little slack period, and all of a sudden you kind of see that line straighten, or more slack is actually created. That means you've just had a strike and you need to be setting the hook. Overall, it's been a tremendous line for muskie and northern pike.
It's been a very busy last day and a half for professional tournament anglers Keith Kavajecz and Jim Carroll as they troll spinner baits in place of traditionally used crankbaits down through the tops of submerged trees on Lake Oahe in South Dakota.
Yeah, he ate it.
There's no getting out on that one. Hit it so hard it came through his bottom jaw. Little walleye, and he's very happy to be here. We'll get him right back in. He really wants to go. Look at those cat-like reflexes, like a ninja. You know?
There are a lot of fish hiding down in the safety of these trees.
You're gonna go through a few of these, I can tell you that. I mean, that is a gorgeous fat fish.
It is a tank.
I mean, they gotta be up in these trees just sitting there eating, I guess, so.
And while they are targeting tournament-winning sizes of walleyes,
Waves are really building, huh? Typical South Dakota day, though. A little flat calm in the morning and white caps. A little bit of waves in the afternoon.
the mixture of bites keeps them guessing more and more as they fight these fish up and out from the clutches of this gnarly and very dense structure.
He's actually staying down, but he feels like a walleye.
There you go.
There's a leader.
There you go. It's a nice walleye. Real nice.
Walleye, big one.
Yeah.
Get him.
He's in the other line.
Nice. Nice.
It's kind of tangled up in that other line.
We're on this other line.
There you go.
But we got him.
Yeah.
That's one thing about starting to fish in the wind is things can get a little tangled up. Oh, there he's off. I got him. Right there. Chunky baby. Well, I'll tell you what, this is a little like combat fishing, especially with the wind blowing like this, but even if it's calm out, just banging through those trees. But I bet you it's something you never saw, using a bass-style spinnerbait to get down in the brush, using lead core to bring it down in there, and smacking lots of walleyes while we're doing it. So we're gonna get this boy back, and I think it's blowing hard enough. We'll probably call it quits for today, but I mean, what a great day out on the water, catching them walleyes on spinnerbaits. That's what them spinnerbaits are made for. By the way, for all you walleye fishermen out there, you don't need to fish spinnerbaits. Really, trust me. Don't fish them. Get that bait back in that windy water. Get her back out, Jim. Get her back out. Ain't gonna catch none holding on to that thing.
A sheephead? I drove all the way down here for that? Is that pikey like?
A bite. How's he feel? Dang it! I don't like to see this at all.
Yeah, somebody had a Lindy rig. Yeah, slow down. That is a slow down hook.
The Next Bite would like to thank the Outpost Lodge, Steakhouse, Lounge, and Casino. For more information or to make arrangements for fishing or hunting in the Cow Creek recreational area, visit theoutpostlodge.com.